You were not born to crawl through life begging for scraps. You were not cast into this world to be at the mercy of circumstance. No, you were born with power, not borrowed, not earned, innate, silent, infinite. But power unclaimed is power wasted, and that's the reality for most. They live and die with a sleeping giant inside them, never awakened, never tested, never used. They pray for miracles while ignoring the engine of miracles inside their own chest. You see, most will never look inward. They'll run from the silence, hide in distraction, and drown themselves in the noise of the world, because the truth terrifies them. The truth that the chains around their neck were forged in their own mind, that the prison they rot in has no walls, only thoughts. We were taught to believe that life is something that happens to us, that we're here to react, to endure, to survive. But that's a lie, a beautiful lie told by cowards and repeated by the blind. Because the ones who know, the ones who see, they don't react, they command. You want more strength? Then become the embodiment of strength. You want more health? Then stop outsourcing it to pills and prayers. Live it. You want joy? Then create the conditions for it. Speak it. Think it. Move like it. Everything you seek exists already, but not out there. It's waiting within you, silently, watching, waiting to see if you're finally ready to wake the hell up. Because life doesn't reward the wishful. It rewards the intentional. The chaos you face, the pain, the struggle, the endless string of setbacks, none of it is random. It is not punishment. It is feedback. It's the echo of your internal landscape. The world is your mirror, and it's brutally honest. So if your world is full of pain, stop blaming the mirror. Fix the reflection. Fix you. Here's the deeper law, the one they don't want you to know. The world within is the cause. The world without is the effect. And every single time you try to fix the effect without addressing the cause, you fall deeper into the trap. Because you're treating symptoms of a disease you refuse to name. This is not about pretending everything is fine. This is about understanding where the real battle takes place. It is not out there. It is not in other people, in the economy, in your past, or your enemies. It's in your mind. That's where you win. That's where you bleed. That's where you conquer. You can't express power you don't possess, and you can't possess it until you become conscious of it. And you'll never become conscious of it if you keep treating the world like it's some external tyrant, rather than your own reflection. Let this be your awakening. There is no savior coming. There is no perfect moment. There is only you, in this moment, deciding whether to rule or be ruled. You have access to infinite wisdom, infinite strength, infinite supply of what you need, waiting within you. But it will not knock on your door. It will not beg for your attention. You must demand it. You must extract it. You must earn it through discipline, through silence, through battle with your lesser self. And when you finally seize that power, when you control your thoughts with ruthless clarity, when you no longer allow your emotions to dictate your fate, you become a weapon, a force of nature, unshakable, unbreakable, unstoppable. But understand, there is a price. You must kill the old you, the you who plays victim, the you who hides in excuses, the you who worships limitations and calls it realism. That version of you must die for the real you to be born. Because greatness cannot grow in the soil of weakness. Because mastery cannot thrive in a mind ruled by chaos. The mind is everything. And until you dominate that battlefield, you'll keep losing, over and over, in different forms, under different masks, with the same result. Let me be clear. If you think in weakness, you will live in weakness. If you scatter your thoughts, you scatter your results. If your internal world is out of harmony, your external world will be a reflection of that discord. But when you align, when your thoughts are clear, focused, and under command, everything changes. You become the cause, and the world bends around you. This is the power of true consciousness. It isn't found in books. It isn't found in mantras. It's found in the moment you decide to no longer be a slave to your own mind. That's the great divide. Not between rich and poor, strong and weak, lucky and unlucky, but between those who understand this law and those who ignore it. To those who understand, the world is clay. To those who ignore, the world is a cage. And now I ask you, are you shaping your world? Or is it shaping you? Are you leading your thoughts like a general commands an army? Or are you letting them wander like sheep through the fields of fear and doubt? Are you in control or just reacting? Because if you're not in control, then you're not living. You're drifting, existing, waiting for fate to throw you a bone. But fate does not serve the passive. Fate bows to the determined. It yields to the focused. It fears the disciplined. So rise, sit still, silence the noise. Take back command. Master your body, master your thoughts, master your reactions. And as your vision sharpens, as your inner world becomes defined and unshakable, you'll watch the world without shift like sand beneath your feet. Because it was never about them, never about it, always about you. The dominion is within. It has always been. Reclaim it. Command it. Become it. Lesson 1. Confront the mirror. Awareness of the inner world. Core principle. The world around you, the people you attract, the problems you face, the chaos or calm in your life, isn't happening to you. It's happening through you. Your outer world is nothing more than a mirror reflecting the dominant patterns, beliefs, and emotional frequencies within your inner world. Purpose of this lesson: to bring brutal self-awareness to the surface. Before you can change anything in your life, you must first identify what you've been unconsciously creating. This lesson exposes your personal patterns and challenges you to take radical ownership of them. The shadow work begins here. This isn't about blaming yourself. It's about empowering yourself. Because if you created this storm, then you can end it. If your thinking built the prison, then your thinking can shatter the walls. Daily practices for confronting the mirror. 1. Mirror journaling, 15 to 30 minutes daily. Prompt number 1. What parts of my external life feel chaotic, broken, or unfulfilling? Prompt number 2. What beliefs or thought patterns might be feeding this? Examples: constant money struggles. I don't deserve wealth. Money is scarce. Relationship issues. I'm not lovable. People always leave. Physical exhaustion. I'm never enough. I must prove myself constantly. Write without censoring yourself. Let the truth rise from beneath the surface. 2. Pattern recognition. Weekly review. At the end of each week, reflect and identify recurring emotional states, anxiety, anger, hopelessness, triggers that set you off, the stories you tell yourself when things go wrong. Ask, what story am I living out on repeat? And then, who would I be without that story? 3. Environmental awareness. Your surroundings reveal what you tolerate and believe you deserve. Look around. Is your space clean or chaotic? Are you surrounded by growth or decay? Do your relationships elevate you or drain you? Challenge. Choose one thing in your environment today that reflects limitation and change it. Clean it. Remove it. Replace it with something that reflects power and vision. Mindset shift. From victim to architect. Repeat this statement daily until it becomes a core belief. Nothing happens to me. Everything happens through me. I am the cause. Let it rewire your perception. Start observing yourself like a detective, not with guilt or shame, but with clarity and responsibility. Dark reflection. Questions. Use with caution. They cut deep. What in my life is a direct result of my silence, avoidance, or fear? What do I secretly believe I deserve that's keeping me small? If the world is my mirror, what truth is it trying to show me that I keep refusing to see? Write your answers. Sit with them. Let them sting. That pain, that's truth knocking. Activation exercise. The mirror confrontation. Stand in front of a mirror. Lock eyes with yourself. Say out loud, I am the cause. Everything in my life is a reflection of my inner state. I take full command, starting now. Watch your face. Feel the discomfort. Don't look away. Do this every morning for the next 7 days. Your old identity will fight it. Good. That means it's working. Outcome of lesson 1. By the end of this lesson, you will have a deep awareness of your recurring life patterns. See clearly how your thoughts and beliefs shape your external reality. Begin breaking the cycle of unconscious creation. Feel both the burden and freedom of being the creator of your reality. Lesson 2. Kill the old self. Eliminate the victim mindset. Core principle. You cannot step into your higher self while still clinging to the identity of your lower self. The victim mindset is the anchor that keeps you chained to mediocrity. It whispers that you are powerless, that life is unfair, that other people control your destiny. And as long as you believe that story, even a little, you will never rise. You must kill the old self, not with subtlety, not with patience, with ruthless clarity. You must exile the version of you that survives off blame, fear, and weakness, because that version will never build the life you were meant to live. The cost of power is the death of excuses. The truth is harsh, but necessary. Everything that has happened to you, happened. But what happens next is your choice. And that's where most people run, because responsibility is terrifying. It means there's no one left to blame, no fallback, no savior. But there's also no limit. As long as you keep identifying with the story of pain, injustice, or lack, you keep reinforcing the chains that bind you. And you were not made to be bound. Daily practices to kill the old self. 1. The death list. Create a list titled, What Must Die? List all aspects of yourself that are no longer welcome. Beliefs like, I'm not good enough. Habits like procrastination, overthinking, people-pleasing. Emotional defaults like blaming others, avoiding discomfort, self-doubt. Read this list aloud every morning. Then say, you no longer speak for me. Burn it at the end of the week. Start a new one. Repeat until the old self is ashes. 2. The replacement identity. For every belief you kill, replace it with a truth forged in strength. I don't know enough. I learn quickly and adapt faster than most. I always mess up. I execute with clarity and precision. People never support me. I am self-sufficient and attract allies who match my power. You cannot leave a void. Remove weakness. Fill it with force. 3. The number, rule. Every time the victim self tries to speak, interrupt it immediately. When your mind says, "This isn't fair," answer with, "No." That voice is dead. When it says, "I can't," say, "No, we don't speak that language anymore." The goal is zero tolerance. Because even a whisper of weakness, if left unchecked, grows roots. 4th daily identity declaration. Speak your new identity aloud every day. Make it vivid, real, unshakable. I am not the past. I am not my pain. I am not my old patterns. I am the architect of my future. I act with power. I choose with clarity. I move with purpose. The old self is dead, and I buried it myself. Stand tall when you speak it. Look yourself in the eye if possible. Say it with fire. Say it until you believe it. Mindset shift. From reaction to creation. The victim lives in reaction, always responding to circumstances, people, and emotions. The architect lives in creation, deciding what to think, what to feel, what to build. This lesson is about crossing that divide with finality. Ask yourself, am I living out a story that someone else wrote for me? Whose voice am I still obeying that no longer deserves to speak? What does the version of me, who takes full responsibility, do today? And then do it. Even if it's hard. Especially if it's hard. Dark reflection questions. These are meant to provoke discomfort. Lean into it. That's where the shift begins. What lies have I told myself to justify staying small? In what ways am I addicted to being the victim? What identity am I afraid to let go of? Because I've worn it so long it feels like home. Who would I be if I had no one left to blame? Write your answers without filters. Reread them. And understand. This is the enemy. Activation exercise. The burial ritual. Write a letter to your old self. Not a gentle one. A final one. Tell that version of you it is no longer needed. Tell it what damage it caused. Tell it why it must be buried. Then write, I release you. You are dead to me now. Burn that letter. Do it at night. Do it with fire. Feel the energy shift. And when the ashes cool, walk away like a soldier who just won a war. Outcome of lesson 2. By the end of this lesson, you will break your emotional addiction to being powerless. Rewire your mind to reject victim narratives in real time. Forge a new identity rooted in strength, clarity, and conscious creation. Lay to rest the version of yourself that could never build what you are about to become. Lesson 3. Command the battlefield. Mental discipline. Core principle. Your mind is the battlefield, not the world, not your job, not your bank account. All of it. Every challenge, every triumph, every fall originates in your thoughts. Until you gain complete control of your mind, you are at war with yourself. And in that war, hesitation is defeat. The undisciplined mind is your greatest liability. It reacts, it wanders, it obeys fear. But a disciplined mind becomes your most dangerous weapon. When you command your thoughts, you command reality. You cannot build an empire with a mind full of noise. Most people live in constant mental clutter. They think whatever shows up. They let thoughts run loose like stray dogs. They confuse busyness with clarity, motion with progress, noise with power. And so they create chaos, not because they want to, but because they've lost command. You must become the commander of your mind, not its follower, not its servant, not its prisoner. Discipline is not rigidity. It is freedom from mental slavery. Daily practices for mental discipline. First, thought tracking. Carry a journal or use a notes app. For 3 days, track recurring thoughts, especially doubts, fears, regrets, self-talk when you face resistance. At the end of each day, ask, who was in control today? Me or the noise? Awareness is the first step toward command. You can't silence what you haven't identified. 2. The razor focus drill. Choose one task daily. Work on it for 45 uninterrupted minutes. No music, no phone, no switching tabs, nothing. You will fail at first. Your mind will beg to check notifications, wander to other thoughts. Deny it. Every time you refocus, you sharpen the blade. Every time you indulge distraction, you dull it. Your future depends on how well you can direct your attention on command. 3rd, controlled thought sessions. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Choose one thought or visualization and hold it in your mind with crystal clarity. Example: visualize your highest self executing your goal with power. Repeat one mental affirmation like a mantra. Contemplate one question like, what would total self-mastery feel like? If your mind drifts, bring it back. No judgment, just correction. This is mental weightlifting. Consistency builds strength. 4. Cut the noise. Audit your inputs. What content are you consuming daily? Who do you listen to? What environments surround you? Eliminate everything that feeds mental chaos. Silence is not emptiness. It is the space where clarity is born. Mindset shift. From passive thinking to active command. The average person allows their mind to think them. They sit in silence and become overwhelmed. They hear a negative voice and assume it must be true. They follow thoughts like a dog chasing cars, never questioning, never leading. You must break that pattern. Start leading your thoughts, not with blind optimism, but with targeted force. Decide what to think, then hold that thought like a blade in your hand. Your attention is currency. Spend it with precision. Dark reflection questions. Ask these in silence. Sit with the discomfort. Clarity is on the other side. What thoughts rule me when I'm weak? What patterns of thinking sabotage my momentum? What is the loudest lie I keep believing in my mind? If I could only think one thought every day for the next year, what thought would make me unstoppable? Write your answers. Read them aloud. Face the truth. Discipline begins with ownership. Activation exercise. The command chair. Choose one place in your home to become your mental war room. Sit upright. Breathe deeply. No music. No movement. Just you and your mind. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Your only job: hold a single thought or question in perfect focus. It will be hard. You will want to quit. Good. That resistance is the enemy exposing itself. Do this every day. That chair is no longer furniture. It is the throne from which you reclaim your mind. Outcome of Lesson 3. By the end of this lesson, you will be fully aware of the recurring thoughts that run your life. Cultivate the strength to hold and direct your thoughts under pressure. Eliminate mental noise that clouds your clarity. Develop the habit of leading your thoughts instead of being led by them. Lesson 4. Align the frequencies. Create inner harmony. Core principle. Power without alignment is chaos. Discipline without clarity is force without aim. You can train your body, discipline your mind, and speak bold affirmations all day. But if your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are out of sync, the signal you send into reality is distorted. You don't get what you want. You get what you are aligned with. Until your inner world is unified, Your outer world will reflect confusion, contradiction, and resistance. This lesson is about removing that distortion and becoming a single, unwavering frequency, clear, sharp, and undeniable. Your life is echoing your signal. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold, it all vibrates. And that vibration is your signal to the universe. Most people send mixed signals. They speak of abundance while fearing lack. They visualize success while expecting failure. They pray for love while doubting they're worthy of it. And the world listens to your frequency, not your words. So if you want the world to change, you must align the message. No more contradictions. No more half-beliefs. No more split energy. Daily practices to align the frequencies. 1. Unified visualization. Every morning, take 5 to 10 minutes to visualize your desired future. Not just the images. Feel it. Feel what it would be like to live that reality now. How does your body feel? What emotions are flowing through you? What thoughts dominate your mind? Then ask, do I carry these emotions and thoughts the rest of the day? If not, your signal is fractured. And fractured signals bring fractured results. Second frequency audit. At the end of each day, write down the dominant emotions you felt. Anxiety, resentment, scarcity, confidence, peace, conviction. Next to each one, write the belief that may have caused it. Then ask, were my emotions aligned with the reality I claim to be creating? If the answer is no, good. Now you see the misalignment. Now you can correct it. 3. Conscious alignment statements. Several times a day, especially before key moments, conversations, decisions, deep work, speak this aloud. My thoughts, emotions, and intentions are one. I am not divided. I am not uncertain. I know who I am. I know what I'm building. And every cell of my being agrees with that truth. Don't speak it passively. Speak it like a soldier marching into war. Let the world feel the weight of your alignment. 4. Eliminate contradictions. This is where most people fail. They act like they believe, but secretly prepare to fail. They speak confidence, but sabotage progress with fear. They hold visions of power, while feeding relationships, habits, and media that poison it. You cannot serve two masters. Every time you act against your vision, you fracture your frequency. Audit your actions. Are they aligned with your highest self? Do they reinforce the outcome you want? If not, cut them. Without hesitation. Alignment demands it. Mindset shift. From scattered to singular. A scattered mind creates scattered results. But when your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are aligned, you become like a laser, focused, burning through obstacles. Ask yourself daily, is my energy clean or contaminated? Am I living in emotional agreement with my goals? What part of me is still resisting what I say I want? Face the answers. Align the energy. Dark reflection questions. These will expose fractures. Welcome them. What do I say I want, but secretly expect to fail at? Where do I still operate from fear while claiming to move in power? What emotions do I feel daily that sabotage the signal I'm trying to send? Who or what in my life is feeding the wrong frequency? Write it down. Don't justify. Just expose. Alignment starts with honesty. Activation exercise. Full spectrum alignment. Find a quiet place. Sit in stillness for 15 to 20 minutes. Visualize your highest goal or reality. Now scan your body. Ask, does my breath reflect belief or fear? Do I feel peace or resistance? Are my thoughts supporting or undermining this vision? When you find tension or resistance, breathe into it. Speak directly to it. You no longer control me. I am not divided. I choose unity. Do this daily. Make it a ritual. The more often you practice inner agreement, the more rapidly outer alignment follows. Outcome of Lesson 4. By the end of this lesson, you will develop the emotional awareness to recognize inner contradictions. Begin living in conscious emotional and mental agreement with your vision. Eliminate people, habits, and inputs that fracture your alignment. Radiate a unified frequency that shapes your external world to match your internal truth. Lesson 5. Build the fortress. Daily stillness and mastery of body. The body is the first battlefield. Master it, or be ruled by it. Core principle. Before you can command the world, you must first command yourself. Before you build the kingdom, you must fortify the walls. And the first wall is your body. You live in it. You move through it. But do you own it? Or does it own you? That's the question most never ask, because they're terrified of the answer. They think mastery begins with motivation. No, it begins with embodiment, with stillness, with control. When your body is under siege by cravings, by twitching, by resistance to discomfort, your mind is not free. Your thoughts are chained to weakness, and weakness doesn't build empires. The body is not a vessel. It is a weapon. You don't have a body. You are embedded in one. It's not just skin, muscle, and breath. It's a reflection of your relationship to power. A flinching body houses a flinching mind. A restless body reveals a fractured will. But a still, disciplined body radiates control, even in silence. This lesson isn't about aesthetics. It isn't about health fads or six-pack abs. It's about reclaiming dominion over the primal mechanism you've been gifted. Because once the body bows to your will, everything else follows. 3 core laws of physical mastery. Law 1. Stillness is command. Can you sit in perfect silence without flinching, scratching, adjusting, reacting? Most cannot. They've never trained stillness. Their body squirms like it's possessed. Their mind jumps from impulse to impulse. You must break that. Stillness is your first proof of control. Law 2. Discomfort is training. Every signal of resistance, whether it's fatigue, tension, cold, or hunger, is a test. Not of pain tolerance, but of response. Do you flinch? Do you give in? Or do you sit with it, observe it, and transcend it? He who commands his response to pain commands his destiny. Law 3. Movement must be ritual. Every step, every breath, every posture is either training you into control or training you into chaos. Slouched posture weakens the will. Shallow breathing feeds anxiety. Unconscious habits dilute presence. But when you move with awareness, with intention, with purpose, you become your own symbol of power. Advanced daily practices. 1. The stillness throne. Level 2. Duration, 30 to 60 minutes. No movement, no music, no support, just breath and presence. You will experience itching, mental noise, emotional resistance. The urge to escape. Do nothing. Let it all burn. Let your body scream. You do not flinch. You sit and you rule. Do this every morning or night. This is not meditation. This is dominion training. 2. Cold exposure plus controlled breathing. Cold is truth. Cold reveals your false confidence. Each day. Cold shower, no warm-up. Breathe slow. Calm your mind. Observe your reaction without reacting. You'll want to run. Good. That's weakness showing itself. Face it. Overcome it. This rewires the nervous system to respond to pressure with calm, an elite trait of warriors. 3rd, ritualized movement, 30 minutes minimum. This isn't working out. This is forging a warrior frame. Options: functional strength training, martial movement, kickboxing, flow drills, controlled resistance, body weight mastery, holds, balance, explosive control. Don't train for looks, train for command. Every rep is a declaration. I own this body. I own this power. 4th, fasting windows. Daily fasting windows build restraint at the biological level. You're not starving. You're training your instincts to obey. Recommended: 16. 8, intermittent fasting, or daily delayed first meal. Drink water. Control your urges. Let hunger sharpen your mind instead of weaken your will. 5th, sensory reduction. Nights. 1 night a week. No devices, no lights, no food, no stimulation, just you, the silence, and your body. Use this space to feel what's rising. Rest deeply. Breathe consciously. Listen to the body's intelligence without distraction. This deepens the connection between command and calm. Mindset. Shift from animal to architect. You are not an animal chasing pleasure, avoiding pain. You are not a slave to urges, tastes, and temperature. You are an architect. You are a ruler. And your body is not a wild creature. It is your first kingdom. Tame it. Sculpt it. Then move through the world like a sovereign. Ask yourself, who is in control? My cravings or my consciousness? What emotions live in my posture? What message does my body send to the world when I walk into a room? If the answer isn't power, then you still have work to do. Dark reflection questions. Let these cut deep. What physical habits keep me in a state of unconsciousness? What do I feed my body that weakens my spirit? Where do I retreat to comfort instead of training command? What part of me is still owned by sensation? You know what to do with the answers. Activation exercise. Body as temple ceremony. Once per week, perform this solo ritual. Begin with 30 minutes of stillness. Follow with 30 minutes of ritualized movement. No music, no mirrors, only breath. End with cold exposure and the following spoken aloud. This body is forged in fire. It does not react. It does not beg. It moves when I say move. It rests when I say rest. I am the one who commands. This is my vessel. This is my temple. This is my fortress. Leave the room in silence. No phone, no distraction, just stillness and sovereignty. Outcome of Lesson 5. By the end of this lesson, you will train your nervous system to respond to discomfort with power, not panic. Convert your body into a tool of clarity, presence, and mental sharpness. Reclaim daily rituals as opportunities for command and calibration. Walk, breathe, and move like someone who has mastered the first battlefield, the body. Lesson 6. Create, don't react. Live as cause, not effect. Either you shape the world, or the world shapes you. There's no in-between. Core principle. Every moment of your life, you are standing in one of two positions, cause or effect. If you are at effect, you are a puppet, reacting to everything outside of you. What they said, what they did, how you feel, what you fear, what happened, what didn't. You live in a cage of reaction and call it life. But if you are at cause, you dictate the terms. You choose your responses. You set the energy in the room. You decide how this story unfolds. This lesson is about reclaiming that position. Not once, not occasionally, but as a permanent stance. Because only when you live at cause do you become the architect of your reality. Reaction is the default of the undisciplined. The reactive person is always waiting, always blaming, always negotiating with life. They ask, Why is this happening to me? They wait for better conditions, for perfect timing, for permission, for luck. They do not create. They cope. Creation, on the other hand, is aggressive, relentless, focused. It doesn't ask what's allowed. It asks what's necessary. The creator doesn't hope for alignment. They become it. Daily practices to live at cause. 1. The morning creation protocol. Each morning, write down the answers to these 3 prompts. What energy will I embody today, regardless of circumstance? What outcome will I create before the day ends? What challenge might try to control me? And how will I respond on purpose? You begin the day as the sculptor, not the clay. You're no longer waiting for alignment. You are generating it. The response override drill. Choose 1 moment per day to pause when your nervous system wants to react, and do the opposite. Examples. When someone disrespects you, don't lash out. Respond with stillness. When fear rises before a decision, don't delay. Step forward. When you're triggered emotionally, don't speak. Breathe. Observe. This rewires your identity from slave to sovereign. You teach yourself, I am in control, no matter the stimulus. 3rd, intentional action checkpoints. Set an alarm or cue 3 times per day to stop and ask, am I reacting or creating? If you're reacting, pause, shift, redirect. Take 1 action immediately that moves you back into the driver's seat. If you're creating, double down, amplify it, stretch it, reinforce the loop of power. 4. No passive inputs before noon. No scrolling, no gossip, no news, no reaction-based media before noon. This is sacred creation time. During these hours, build, write, move, think, make decisions, solve problems, set the tone for your life. You are the cause, so act like it. Don't begin your day consuming chaos. Begin by constructing clarity. Mindset shift. From what's happening to what am I making? Ask yourself, am I letting the world shape my state, or am I shaping the world through my state? Do I respond to circumstances, or do I design them? If my thoughts and actions today created my life tomorrow, would I be proud of what I'm building? If you're not proud, change it now. Do not wait for the world to change. It won't. You change, and the world bends to match. Dark reflection questions. Sit with these in silence. Don't answer them casually. Let them bite. What parts of my life are being run by reaction and emotion? Where do I blame others instead of taking command? What am I waiting for that I could create right now? Who would I become if I stopped reacting and started building? Write your answers down. Review them every week. Watch them shrink as your power grows. Activation exercise. The cause contract. Write this contract. Sign it. Read it aloud daily. From this day forward, I refuse to live at the mercy of anything outside of me. I am not a reaction. I am the cause. I do not wait. I initiate. I do not beg. I build. The world will know me not for what I endured, but for what I created with discipline, silence, and force. I walk into every space as the architect. This is my reality, and I shape it. Post it where you see it daily. Repeat it until it becomes your instinct. Outcome of Lesson 6. By the end of this lesson, you will shift from passivity to power in your moment-to-moment life. Identify and override reactive behaviors and emotions. Train yourself to become a consistent generator of intention, outcome, and energy. Rewire your identity as the creator of your reality, not the victim of it. Lesson 7. Reclaim the dominion. Step fully into power. This is where you stop learning to become powerful and start living as if you already are. Core principle. Everything you've done until now has been preparation. Burning illusions, dismantling lies, confronting weakness. You've realized you are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not the flesh, the doubt, the noise. You are the power that commands all of it. This final lesson is not about new ideas. It's about stepping into the identity you've been forging through every moment of this process. No more seeking, no more waiting. Now, you embody. Dominion means absolute ownership of your mind, your body, your emotions, your thoughts, your time, your energy. You walk into a room and the air changes, not because of arrogance, but because of alignment. Not because of dominance over others, but because of mastery over yourself. You are the one you've been waiting for. Read that again. All the strength, discipline, clarity, and force you've been trying to reach. It's already inside you. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about removing everything that was never you to begin with. The doubt, the excuses, the hesitation, the guilt, the softness. Burn it all. And what remains is you, stripped of lies, covered in scars, unshakable. Reclaiming your dominion means you now live from your highest identity. No matter the circumstance, no matter the resistance, you do not fluctuate. You do not explain. You do not apologize for who you've become. Daily practices to step into full power. First, identity installation ritual. Each morning, write and declare the identity you choose to embody. Not a goal, not a dream, a decision. I am the one who moves mountains. I am the one who walks with silence and certainty. I am the one who commands my thoughts, body, and world. I am not becoming. I already am. Write it. Speak it aloud. Step into it as soon as your feet touch the floor. Second power walks. Each day, take 15 to 30 minutes to walk in complete command. No phone, no talking, just presence. Every step, every breath, every posture should reflect your power. Shoulders back, eyes forward, breath steady, mind locked. You are not strolling. You are training your nervous system to carry the energy of sovereignty. 3. Irreversible decisions. Dominion requires action, not planning, not overthinking. Choose one bold, irreversible decision this week that aligns with your highest self. Examples: end the relationship that's draining your energy. Launch the project you've been waiting to start. Say no to what no longer fits. Say yes to what scares you. Step through the door and burn the bridge behind you. 4. Shadow integrity. True power doesn't ignore the darkness. It integrates it. Every week, sit in silence and ask, where am I hiding from my own potential? Where am I still living small to protect others? Where do I still fear being fully seen? Then, act in alignment with the truth, even if it costs you comfort. Power lives on the other side of brutal honesty. 5th power presence audit. At random times each day, ask, if someone saw me right now, without speaking, would they know who I am? Check your posture, your energy, your mood, your pace. Everything should signal, I am in control, not just for others, but to remind yourself. Mindset shift, from seeking power to being power. You are no longer seeking strength. You're using it. You are no longer healing. You are moving. You are no longer preparing. You are executing. Ask yourself, what version of me am I refusing to suppress any longer? What does power look like in my hands? Today, not tomorrow? If I died tonight, would the world have felt the full weight of who I really was? Let that guide your decisions. Let that cut the hesitation. Dark reflection questions. These are not for the weak. They're for those who are done playing small. What would my life look like if I took 100% responsibility for every inch of it? Where have I been giving away my throne without a fight? What does it cost me to keep pretending I'm not ready? Who am I when no one is watching? And is that version worthy of the crown? Write it. Sit with it. Step up to it. Activation exercise. The throne ritual. Once a week, sit in complete stillness for 45 minutes in your most powerful posture. Beforehand, light a single candle. In the silence, visualize this truth. You are seated on the throne of your mind. Everything, your thoughts, emotions, body, desires, kneels before you. There is no king above you, no enemy within, only command, only clarity, only power. When the timer ends, stand slowly, walk with intent. Say aloud, I walk this world as the sovereign, not someday, not maybe, now. Outcome of Lesson 7. By the end of this lesson, you will step fully into your highest identity without fear, apology, or delay. Stop performing personal development and start embodying personal power. Remove hesitation, self-doubt, and hesitation at the root. Become someone who no longer reacts, doubts, or begs, but commands. To those who've walked with us from the beginning, who've sat in silence, killed their old selves, reclaimed their mind, and risen, scarred but sovereign. Welcome back, warriors. You are the few who chose the harder road. You are the builders of inner empires. You are the proof that darkness can become discipline, and discipline can become destiny. And to those of you just finding this path, you are not here by accident. This message found you because something inside you is ready to wake up. You felt the pull. You've heard the call. Now it's your move. This is not a channel. This is not a trend. This is a movement of black sheep, of rebels, of quiet giants who no longer beg to be saved. Because we've remembered that the power was always ours. Subscribe to the GrimFace movement. This is your initiation. But understand this. Once you enter, you don't go back. No. You rise. You rule. And you walk with the face the world tried to forget. The GrimFace. We'll see you in the next war.